Up next on The Reveal.
Her face was swelled up, black eyes. She was cut across her nose. She was just black and blue.
Patients dying at a Georgia nursing home. Their families claim it's heartless neglect.
That's a rotten, stinking, no good, sorry-ass place is what it is.
The state put you in that home.
And the state returned me to that home.
He claims he was sexually abused by his foster mother, and the state did nothing to protect him.
They put you in the hands of your abuser, quite literally.
Yeah, and I've told him that. I said, you know, you guys put me on a collision course with somebody that was going to alter my life forever.
It was awful. Like, I walked in and I immediately wanted to throw up.
Moldy food, little water, and no medical care. Former zoo employees speak out. From our Midtown studios in Atlanta, The Reveal begins now with our multi-Emmy and National Mural Award-winning team of investigators.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan Keefe.
And I'm Faith Abube. A Georgia woman dies after parasitic mites essentially eat her alive in a nursing home.
Since our explosive investigation first aired, state inspectors continue to find violations, while its owner receives millions of taxpayer dollars.
Every day was great with her. I couldn't complain about anything. She wouldn't give me no reason to.
Jim Palmer's fondest memory of his wife, Frances, is the day they got engaged.
And my second fondest was the day we did get married.
While their wedding day is one of his most cherished, what happened to his wife just days before her death is something he wishes he could forget.
I looked in the room and she's already on the gurney. Ambulance is already there. Her face was swelled up, black eyes. She was cut across her nose. She was just black and blue.
It happened last year when the 75-year-old lived here at Shepherd Hills, a nursing home in Lafayette, Georgia. According to Palmer, Frances suffered 3 falls in 6 weeks he believes could have been prevented. After the second fall this past September, he filed this police report alleging staff neglected her. Palmer says he then requested padding around her bed.
And I asked them to put one on the floor. And they said, no, she might trip over it. I said, well, if she trips on it, at least she's gonna land on something soft.
11 days later, Frances fell again. This time, the fall so hard, hospital records show she suffered fractured bones in her face and bleeding in her brain. Doctors told Palmer the damage was irreversible.
I told him, let God take care. 2 days later, she died.
While state inspectors have not determined if Shepherd Hills is responsible for Frances' death, the facility has a long history of alleged neglect. In 2015, 93-year-old Rebecca Zini died from a scabies infestation while living there.
This is one of the most horrendous things that I've ever seen in my career as a forensic pathologist.
After reviewing her autopsy, forensic pathologist Dr. Chris Berry estimates millions of mites were living inside Zini at the time of her death.
So it's not an exaggeration to say, to some extent, she was eaten alive.
Having seen what I've seen with Ms. Zini, I think, frankly, that is a good characterization.
Since Zini's death, inspectors with the Department of Community Health have cited the nursing home each year for multiple violations, including medication errors, inaccurate patient records, holes discovered in the ceiling. And the reveals confirm the state is currently investigating neglect claims related to this man who lives at Shepherd Hills. His name, Andy Coleman. The person who filed the complaint, his sister, who also happens to be the facility's former nursing director. Pictures provided to the Reveal show injuries to his forehead, black eyes, and shoulder, allegedly caused by staff not following fall prevention protocols.
That's a rotten, stinking, no good, sorry-ass place is what it is.
While state investigators were citing the facility year after year, state records show its owner, Pruitt Health, received taxpayer money. $8.1 million in Medicaid reimbursements just from Shepherd Hills alone since 2018. The person billing the state for that money is this man, Neil Pruitt, Pruitt Health's chairman and CEO, and the owner of Shepherd Hills Nursing Home.
Great customer service here, right?
We requested an interview with him, giving him a month to respond. When he didn't, we caught up with him at a recent public board meeting.
Your company has been cited multiple times for violations involving this facility. You have any comment?
We have no comment. We don't respond to this type of journalism.
You have received millions in taxpayer dollars, and this facility continues to see violations. Why do you deserve taxpayer money?
No comment. I don't know how to explain that to you.
So loving.
Palmer has never met Mr. Pruitt, but has a message for him if he gets the chance.
Y'all have the wrong name for this nursing home. You got Shepherd Hills Nursing Home? What about Shepherd Kills Nursing Home?
We shared our findings with State Representative Steve Tarvin. Shepherd Hills is in his district. He said he was disturbed by the allegations and would forward them to the Department of Community Health to investigate. Right now, lawmakers are considering legislation that would require nursing homes to allow families to install cameras inside rooms.
Coming up on The Reveal. She plied you with alcohol and drugs in order to take advantage of you?
Yes.
He was put in the hands of his abuser, but Georgia law won't let him sue the state agency that put him there. It's much easier for you to sue your abuser now than it is the system that allowed this to happen.
Correct.
Welcome back to The Reveal. Sexually abused by his foster mother when he was a kid, a Georgia man is now prevented by state law from suing the Department of Family and Children's Services. We discovered DFCS kept sending teen boys to that foster home because the abuser specifically requested them.
I think it's the next road on the right.
Daniel Huertas
Wow. Can't believe I remember how to get here.
is heading back.
That's the house right there.
Back home.
Yeah, that's the house.
And back to the night in the 1990s when he ran away.
Because these are the woods right here where I had to hide.
The state put you in that home.
And the state returned me to that home.
They put you in the hands of your abuser, quite literally.
Yeah, and I've told him that. I said, you know, you guys put me on a collision course with somebody that was going to alter my life forever.
The Cherokee County Department of Family and Children's Services sent 15-year-old Daniel and other boys to live with Sherry Jo Wilkes. Court records show the foster mother specifically requested that boys be placed with her, and DFCS obliged because it was difficult to find homes that would accept teenage boys. You lost your virginity to your foster mother.
Yeah, she would watch pornographic videos, and she would point out, you know, saying what she liked me to try on her, and then we would do that.
She plied you with alcohol and drugs in order to take advantage of you?
Yes, every night. Every night.
Every single night for how long?
The whole time I was there.
After 8 months, Daniel built up the courage to tell his DFCS caseworker that his foster mom was sexually abusing him. And you thought, here comes the cavalry.
Right, I thought.
Is that what happened?
No, that's not what happened. The fact is, I'd never seen a caseworker again that day. They sent me back to the foster home.
They sent you back after you said you were being abused.
Yeah, I had a hard time wrestling with the fact that they just left me.
Daniel ran away, hitchhiking all the way to Philadelphia, where Pennsylvania Child Protective Services finally listened.
I had run away and hitchhiked over 500 miles to have another state force Georgia to investigate something that should have been investigated long before I got there.
Sherry Jo Wilkes went to the district attorney's office in Cherokee County and claimed Daniel raped her. But sheriff's detectives discovered other victims in the home, foster boys who insisted they were also sexually abused. One boy claimed the foster mom kept him silent with a gun. If I told anybody, she'd blow my brains out, and I was terrified. The sheriff's office got a search warrant, finding the handgun, vodka, and porn videos precisely as the boys had described. Sherry Jo Wilkes pleaded guilty to felony child molestation and related charges in 1993. In return for that plea, she was given 10 years probation, not prison, ordered to pay $100 in restitution, and the judge allowed her to continue babysitting and fostering children once that probation was over.
When you were abused by your foster mother, the justice system stopped at the foster mother, gave her probation, and didn't go after the system to see who may have known and who may have facilitated that abuse.
Right. Now, had I have known what I know now, I would have pushed the issue as hard as I possibly could have.
Daniel wants to sue the Department of Family and Children's Services for perpetuating the abuse, but he can't. While Georgia briefly allowed adults to sue individuals who abused them decades earlier as children, it's one of only 2 states in the nation that prevented victims from suing entities like DFCS under that extended statute of limitations.
A push tonight to make it easier for victims of sexual abuse to hold their abusers and the organizations they worked with accountable in court.
5 bills have been filed in the last 2 sessions of the General Assembly, allowing victims as old as 55 to sue their childhood abusers, as well as agencies and organizations.
The Boy Scouts of America have paid a half-dozen lobbyists to work the state capitol.
Not one of those bipartisan bills has become law.
It's much easier for you to sue your abuser now than it is the system that allowed this to happen.
Correct. No amount of money they could ever offer me would fix what's been broken.
Daniel has battled addiction and homelessness. Now he's fighting for his daughter. His 14-year-old girl was placed in foster care by Cherokee County DFCS.
Your daughter is in the same system that destroyed your life.
Correct.
You believe there are good foster parents out there, right?
I believe there is, and I believe that there is children out there that do need to be taken from their homes, and I believe that there's children out there that are legitimately being abused.
We asked DFCS if the agency wanted to apologize to Daniel Huertas and what safeguards have been put in place to prevent similar abuse. DFCS responded that confidentiality laws prevented the agency from even acknowledging Daniel was in the foster care system. But the state did insist significant improvements have been made without detailing those changes.
What about the foster mom in this case?
It's a very good question because Sherry Jo Wilkes served her 10 years probation without incident. The former foster mom told us that she was forced into taking a plea, that none of the charges is true, and she insists she did not specifically request teen boys. You can read her full statement right now on 11alive.com.
Up next on The Reveal.
You told them you would shoot the animals in the head before you would let anyone take the animals.
After horrifying allegations of animal abuse at a wildlife refuge, the government is now stepping in.
Nobody's going to take my animals.
Welcome back to The Reveal. He admitted to euthanizing a snow leopard by beating it with a baseball bat. And now the owner of a wildlife refuge is facing more allegations of animal abuse, trafficking, and embezzlement.
Our sister station in Louisville has been digging into these allegations for months and spoke to that owner who says he's outraged and claims he did nothing wrong.
Big circle. 30 people file into the room.
Welcome to Wildlife in Need, everybody.
To watch Wildlife in Need owner Tim Stark introduce some of his exotic animals.
Y'all ready to get your animals today?
They're missing how many animals are crying behind closed doors. They're not seeing the moldy food or no food at all. They're not seeing the lack of water. They're not seeing open wounds that aren't being treated.
Jordan Jones used to volunteer at Wildlife in Need. So did Kyra, Carly, Lauren, and 3 others who didn't want to be named, but did want to tell their story. Founded in 1999, the facility is registered as a nonprofit dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating indigenous wildlife.
It is not what it claims to be. Animals that go there, they suffer a very terrible life.
Nearly 500 pages from this USDA case file detail complaints, incidents, failed inspections, and more. According to USDA records, the facility housed 43 animals in 2012 and nearly 300 only 6 years later. Former staffers tell us the numbers are even higher than that now, but the amount of help has never been enough. Inspectors have cited the facility at least twice for insufficient staff, resulting in a lapse of animal care.
They didn't have knowledgeable people there, and I don't think they had enough people there.
Systematic breakdown seemingly started 7 years ago, when several animals died, according to USDA records. A serval, ocelot, and coatimundi died without explanation.
I've never, in the 2 years I was there, never saw a vet.
In March of 2017, tiger cubs declawed, later ruled a violation of the Animal Welfare Act, but not before the paws got infected, swelling with pus.
I walked in and I immediately wanted to throw up.
Former staff we spoke to said wildlife in need owners refused to bring in an expert to administer care. Facility owners were cited for lying about their vet. Inspectors uncovering the vet they listed for the facility did not agree to provide care for all animals at the facility. Later that year, another suspicious death. Inspectors noting the owner described euthanizing a snow leopard by hitting it with a baseball bat.
He said a proper form of euthanasia was blunt trauma to the head repeatedly.
More than just a lack of proper medical attention, former staff describe a lack of everyday necessities. Inspection reports detail enclosures without water, feeding animals expired meat and roadkill, and again, lack of enrichment.
Clark County 911, what is the address of your emergency?
Barn's on fire.
At least 40 animals died in that 2016 fire. Fire inspectors investigated, but never released a cause.
I think that was also just neglect.
The staffers call what's happening here hoarding, and say it's led to animal neglect, animal escapes, and people have gotten hurt. June 2019, it was one of their own.
Hyena, I'm going down there now.
Graphic pictures from the scene showed the damage. The hyena latching on to the man's arm, ripping it open. According to the incident report, he was trying to get the escaped animal back into a cage. One man claims responsibility for everything that's happened on this property. That man is Tim Stark.
When you have hundreds of animals, you're going to have animals die. It's that damn simple.
Stark doesn't deny the accusations, blaming his staff.
That same exact cage that they wanted to take a picture of that wasn't clean, it was their responsibility.
This week, USDA revoked Stark's license, demanding he cease and desist. Former staff say they're worried the animals could be in danger right now.
They said that you told them you would shoot the animals in the head before you would let anyone take the animals.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Nobody's going to take my animals. It's not going to be my animals that's going to pay the price. I'm not going to let anybody take my animals.
5 days after we released our investigation, the Indiana Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit aiming to shut down Wildlife in Need for good. But owner Tim Stark stands by his claims that his animals are well taken care of. He says he's not giving them up without a fight. For The Reveal, I'm Shay McAllister.
For more on these investigations or to submit a tip to the Reveal team, text REVEAL to 404-873-9114 or email us at thereveal@11alive.com.